Welcome to TelehealthFX Talk. If you're on a GLP-1 medication and your weight loss has stalled, this episode is going to save you from making a big mistake. Because right now, you're probably feeling frustrated, maybe discouraged, maybe wondering if the medication stopped working, and there's a good chance you're thinking about quitting. Don't. Today, we're going to explain exactly why weight loss plateaus happen on GLP-1 medications, what's going on inside your body when the scale stops moving, and we're going to give you a specific 7-strategy framework for breaking through it. If you want a clinical team that helps you navigate plateaus instead of just prescribing and disappearing, visit TelehealthFX.com. That's TelehealthFX.com.
First, the most important thing I can tell you is this. A weight loss plateau on GLP-1 medication is normal. It is not a sign that the medication has stopped working. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is your body doing exactly what it is designed to do, which is adapt. Clinical data shows that after the initial rapid weight loss phase, the rate of loss slows and typically stabilizes somewhere around 9 to 18 months into treatment. Nearly every GLP-1 patient experiences some form of plateau, so let's understand why it happens.
There are 4 biological mechanisms driving the plateau. Number 1 is metabolic adaptation, sometimes called adaptive thermogenesis. When you lose a significant amount of weight, your body is now smaller. A smaller body requires fewer calories to function. Your resting metabolic rate drops. The same caloric deficit that was producing weight loss at 250 pounds is not sufficient at 200 pounds. You're burning fewer calories at rest, fewer calories during activity, and your body may actively slow your metabolism further to conserve energy because it detects a caloric shortfall.
Number 2 is set point theory. Your body has a biological weight range that it tries to defend. When you lose significant weight, your hunger hormones shift. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, increases, making you feel hungrier. Leptin, the fullness hormone, decreases, making you feel less satisfied. Your body is essentially creating biological resistance to further weight loss. GLP-1 medications help override this by suppressing appetite centrally, but the defense mechanisms still engage over time.
Number 3 is muscle loss leading to metabolic slowdown. When you lose weight, some of that weight comes from lean muscle mass, not just fat. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns calories even at rest. So when you lose muscle, your resting metabolic rate drops further, which makes continued fat loss harder. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle. You lose muscle, which lowers your metabolism, which makes it harder to keep losing fat, which makes the plateau worse.
And number 4 is behavioral drift. This is the most common and most fixable cause. Over months of treatment, the initial strict adherence to eating and exercise habits often loosens. It's subtle and usually unconscious. Portions get a little bigger. A few extra treats creep back in. Activity decreases slightly. Sleep quality degrades. Stress increases. Each of these small shifts reduces your caloric deficit by a little, and combined, they can erase it entirely.
So now let's talk about what to actually do about it. We've put together a 7-strategy framework for breaking through a GLP-1 plateau. And I want to emphasize that these aren't gimmicks. These are evidence-based interventions that address the specific mechanisms causing the stall.
Strategy 1. Audit your protein. Protein is the single most important dietary lever for plateau breaking. You should be targeting approximately 0.7 to 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day, spread across 3 to 4 meals at 25 to 40 grams per meal. Protein does 3 things that directly combat the plateau. It preserves and builds lean muscle mass, it has a higher thermic effect, meaning it costs your body more energy to digest, and it increases satiety, keeping you fuller between meals.
Strategy 2. Prioritize resistance training. This is the most important intervention, period. Resistance training builds and preserves metabolically active muscle tissue, directly combating the metabolic slowdown that causes plateaus. Minimum 2 to 3 times per week with progressive overload, meaning you gradually increase the challenge. This connects directly to our episode 2 on muscle preservation and episode 8 on exercise during GLP-1.
Strategy 3. Track everything honestly for 2 weeks. Hidden calorie creep is the most common and most fixable plateau cause. Track your food intake for 14 days. Measure portions, don't estimate. Include drinks, snacks, sauces, cooking oils, everything. Most people discover 200 to 500 extra daily calories that they didn't realize they were consuming. That alone can explain a stalled scale.
Strategy 4. Optimize your sleep. Poor sleep increases ghrelin, decreases leptin, and increases cortisol. That's 3 hormonal shifts that all promote weight gain. Target 7 to 9 hours per night and focus on sleep quality, not just quantity. Dark room, consistent schedule, no screens before bed.
Strategy 5. Manage stress. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which promotes visceral fat storage and drives emotional leading. Walking, meditation, setting boundaries, and taking recovery days from intense exercise all help manage cortisol. Strategy 6. Review your dose with your provider. You may not be at the maximum therapeutic dose. Dose titration adjustments may be appropriate, and for some patients, switching medications can help. For example, Tirzepatide targets both GLP-1 and GIP receptors, and the SURMOUNT-5 trial showed 20.2% weight loss with Tirzepatide compared to 13.7% with Semaglutide. If you've plateaued on Semaglutide, a conversation about Tirzepatide may be worthwhile, but this is absolutely a clinical decision made with your provider, not something you should attempt on your own. And strategy 7, redefine success. This one is psychological, but it's critical. The scale is not the only measure of progress. If you're gaining muscle while losing fat, the scale might not move, but your body is changing dramatically. Look at measurements, waist circumference, how your clothes fit, your energy levels, your mobility, your lab work. And here's something that often gets overlooked. If you've lost significant weight and your body has stabilized at a lower weight, you are successfully defending a new set point. Maintenance at a lower weight is success. And this is where having the right clinical team matters enormously. TelehealthFX providers don't just prescribe and disappear. When you hit a plateau, they help you navigate it. They evaluate whether a dose adjustment is appropriate, whether switching from Semaglutide to Tirzepatide might help, whether adding Ghrelin for lean mass preservation or NAD+ for cellular energy could support your progress. They offer both Semaglutide and Tirzepatide, so you can switch within the same platform without starting over somewhere new. 24-hour provider review, one-on-one support, transparent pricing, no hidden fees, 2-day UPS shipping, all 50 states. Visit TelehealthFX.com. That's TelehealthFX.com. A plateau is not a dead end. It's a signal that your body has adapted and your strategy needs to evolve. The patients who succeed long-term are not the ones who never plateau. They're the ones who adjust, refine, and keep going.
If you're in a plateau right now and you need clinical support to figure out your next move, visit TelehealthFX.com. That's TelehealthFX.com. Take the free qualification quiz, talk to a provider who understands plateau management. That's TelehealthFX.com. And as always, everything on TelehealthFX Talk is for educational purposes only. This is not medical advice. Do not adjust your medication dosage or switch medications without consulting your healthcare provider. Individual results vary. Thanks for listening. If you know someone who's ready to throw in the towel because the scale stopped moving, send them this episode. We'll see you next time on TelehealthFX Talk.